What? Wait, what? Okay, so now for the next request, which takes us to the residential district. Which one was it? This one. Hey there. Pardon us, it's the special support section. Hello again, SSS. Thank you for stopping by. Yeah, I'm glad you've come. Can you tell us what's happened since yesterday, Chief Tolta? I understand there's been new developments in the case. Yes, that's correct. I fear the situation is more dire than we had originally thought. I'd like to discuss it with you all in depth as soon as possible. Is that alright? Sure. Right now is fine. Please fill us in on the details. I've been looking forward to this request because I just want to find out what happens. You said there were new developments? Indeed. I went to the Ash Tree Inn to attempt to persuade Derek once again. I told him that he needs to break ties with Mineth because he's far too suspicious. So you cut straight to the point? Right, but he still refused. In fact, I learned something new. I hurried here to discuss the matter with Mr. Hayworth. Something new? Were you able to ascertain Mineth's plan? What Chief Tolta told me caught me off guard, to be honest. Mineth's grip on the village is far tighter than we had imagined. What do you mean by that? From what we learned yesterday, several villagers did already trust him. Is it more than that? Well, Mineth has not only secured the private property on Old Armorica Road, but the deed to every last plot of land in the village itself. He what? As shocking as that is, one question comes to mind. How is he able to snatch something so important? A good question. From what we know, he's planning something that calls for expanding into the village's lotus fields. The more plots of land he collects from villagers, the more he can expand the lotus fields and increase the harvest. The Quincing Company taking over the management of the fields themselves would also reduce the required labor. That does line up with what we heard yesterday. It sounded like a good thing for the village, but we didn't realize what the sacrifice would be. Yeah, it's all too good to be true. If Mineth has his hands on those land titles, he could abuse them in any way he wanted. The man cannot be trusted. If he had stopped with our private property, then even the worst case scenario wouldn't have caused too much damage. Now that he's using every plot of land, the result could be catastrophic. You guys might be shit out of luck when it comes to breaking that contract, though. Here's where you come in. If you can expose him, then perhaps the contract will be null and void. I know that nothing criminal has transpired here on the surface, but can we still ask you to look into this? Well, the SSS always has been a little different as far as the CPD protocol is concerned. Our job is to give citizens support when they request it. You've given us enough reason to see Mineth as suspicious, so we're willing to help. Thank you, Detective Bannings. You all have been like guardian angels for our village. Where should we begin the investigation? I'm at a bit of a loss myself. Exactly. It's not as though there's a smoking Warble gun. True. In that case, why not ask Ian for assistance? Do you mean Mr. Grimwood? Yes. Granted, we're only working off suspicions of Mineth at the moment. But if you explain the situation, Ian, he may be able to point you in to the evidence you're looking for. That sounds like a good idea. If we can produce even a shred of evidence against Mineth, then it'll act as a good starting point for the investigation. On the other hand, Ian has been incredibly busy ever since the mayor advocated for independence. There's no guarantee he'll have time to see you. Only one way to find out. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Yeah, let's go pay him a visit. Well, we'll leave it to you then. Sorry. I'll see if my business associates know any rumors regarding the Quincy Company or Mineth. We would appreciate that. Thank you, everyone. You're the only ones I can count on. I feel pathetic not being able to do anything. Don't worry, Chief Tolta. We'll handle it from here. Just sit tight and relax. Maybe pray to the goddess for good luck while you're at it. Okay, I'll be waiting for you. And we have started the investigation again. Hey, the village chief is worried sick. This involves not only his village, but his son as well. It's only natural that he would feel like this. Worrying too much can ruin one's health, so we'll do what we can to calm him down. Yeah, considering he's a little up there in age, too, so... Oh, there you are. Oh, we have some honey. Ah, it's so sweet and yummy. Colin. I love the Hayworths. Alright. West Street. Hello. Mr. Grimwood. What a relief. You are in your office. Ah, yes. I was just in the middle of taking a break. You all seem in desperate need of a consultation. Is it that obvious? Huh. I've seen those looks on your faces come through my door countless times. Please, take a seat. I may be busy, but I'll gladly listen to you. Our apologies, and thank you. Lloyd and the others explain what they learned about Mineth in the last 24 hours, along with what he'd done. They also mentioned that Mineth had been collecting deeds to Armorica Village's plots of land. I see. That is quite the predicament the village finds itself in. A case like this one would typically take top priority for me. But as you all know, I've been busy this week drafting the preliminary constitution for the mayor. I apologize that I don't have any time to take over this case personally. That is unfortunate. We suspected that would be the case, but a simple consultation would still be helpful. Very well. I'll give you any advice I can while you're here. We appreciate it, Mr. Grimwood. So, do you have any insight on this? There's no evidence of Mineth doing anything criminal at this point, at least as far as we can tell. Is there something we're missing? I do have one idea. You already figured something out? Perhaps. An Erebonian friend gave me some reference materials that had a very similar case, though I can't say the circumstances are an exact match. We're looking for any lead that can help us in this investigation. If you think there's any similarity, we'd be happy to hear it. Very well, if you insist. I'll recall it the best I can. Several years ago, a man visited the Erebonian Baron's estate. The man went by the name of Rittner. He introduced himself as a professional businessman working for a famous brewing company. Rittner presented the Baron with an opportunity to become rich beyond his wildest dreams, quickly at that. He wanted to use the Baron's barley fields that had been passed down in his family for generations to expand the brewing company. Wait. Do we have a name for this, Baron? They would construct a brewery on the Baron's land. His family would be responsible for managing the brewery. That was the idea. That sounds like a lie. Every story beat is awfully similar to what's happening in Armorica. The Baron accepted the deal and signed Rittner's contract. Then, under the guise of constructing the brewery, the fields and a portion of the Baron's land were temporarily transferred to Rittner. Additionally, the Baron converted his assets into a capital for the sake of getting the business off the ground. However, Rittner disappeared with both the deeds to his land and that capital. the hell? The Baron's family were in a panic after having suddenly lost contact with Rittner. At the time, the Baron had hardly any idea of the events that were about to unfold. Ultimately, they learned Rittner had sold the deeds to a third party. The Baron's land went to become a suburb. In the end, the Baron's family racked up a substantial debt. Before long, they had lost their entire territory. With that, the family was stripped of their rank, and they disappeared. Wait a minute. Is this the Capuas? 'Cause they had a similar situation, didn't they? Damn, that's one hell of a story. That man conned them into giving up their property and sold it right under their noses. That's terrible. Who would do such a thing? Your investigation immediately reminded me of that case. Lion lied to earn their trust and then run off with a large fortune. It is a common method for committing fraud. Fraud? If this case is the same, then Mineth may not be a Quincy Company employee at all. He would simply be a con man trying to swindle Armorica for all they are worth. Precisely. I cannot say that it is the case, though I am worried it may be. I agree. There are too many similarities. Between your story and this case we're investigating, we need to shift our focus to this being a potential fraud case. Meaning, we have more leads on the kinds of things we should be looking into. Yeah, there are two things that are highly suspicious about Mineth. First, the promise of his plan. We need to find out if he's done anything to establish the Armorican Honey Company or not. We could probably figure that out by following the trail of Mira. You'd have to get a bank loan to start a business in Crossbell. If it's all a sham, then the evidence we need may be at the IBC. The other main thing is whether Mineth is really employed by the Quincy Company. The Quincy Company's headquarters aren't in Crossbell, so that'll be a little tougher to figure out. Regarding that, I may be able to help. We should try visiting Grandfather's home. Why the McDowell estate? There should be a brochure about the Quincy Company in my old bedroom. It outlines how the company works. We may be able to find some useful information in it. What's something like that doing in your old crib, Mademoiselle? Because I enjoy making sweets, okay? I used to be interested in the Quincy Company, so I ordered one of their brochures. It should be on the shelf in my room. Then again, I doubt a simple brochure would have the kind of information we need. I wouldn't discount the possibility so easily. It's official Quincy Company material. You may be able to find something contradictory to what Mineth said. It never hurts to cover all your bases. I agree. Let's make a point to drop by the McDowell estate too. Thank you for the invaluable advice, Mr. Groomwood. Our investigation finally has leads thanks to you. I'm glad I was able to be of some use. You said you were using the Hayworth residence as a base of operations, yes? Yeah, we are. If I have the time, I'll help with the case as much as I'm able. Unfortunately, given the other task on my plate, I cannot make any promises. We understand. You've already helped us immensely. It's nice having a professional in the neighborhood we can lean on. I'll do what I can to drop by later, so best of luck in your investigation until then. Sounds good. Thanks again. Okay, are you all ready to get back out there? We need to look into the Armorica Honey Company and the Mineth's plans at the IBC for one. It would also be a good idea to swing by the McDowell estate for that brochure Ellie mentioned. It may state something that contradicts Mineth. Those are our two objectives for the investigation. Roger. We'll find the evidence, no matter what it takes. That was totally about the Capuas. Hello? Master Henry has been very busy handling the ramifications of the independence proposal. He is meeting with Mayor Croy on Orcus Tower as we speak. Now, if only he could pay as much attention to his health. I won't disagree with you there.
Let's see. Oh, here it is. This is the Quincy Company brochure I mentioned earlier.
Ooh, that thing's even bound. They put a ton of effort into it, that's for sure.
Considering the size of the company, they have the ability to do so. We can likely trust anything written inside. Well, at least it's worth coming here for then.
Alright, let's take a closer look at what's inside.
As a leading company in the confectionery industry, the Quincy Company is tirelessly innovating the world of confectionaries. This brochure aims to provide a brief introduction to our passion and hard work. We believe the foremost aspect of any confectionery is its taste. For if a treat isn't tasty, why would anyone enjoy it? On this principle, the Quincy Company refuses to compromise on the quality of our products. Our factories are equipped with the latest equipment, and naturally, we pay the utmost attention to hygiene. At the Quincy Company, we are particular about the quality of our ingredients and where they are sourced. Our standards for product development are also strict. The executives sample development products and, after many planning meetings, judge whether they are worthy of being brought to the market. Only then will they go to the production line. This has been a tradition of the Quincy Company since its founding, so that we may deliver our customer only the best confectionaries to enjoy. It is this tradition and commitment to excellence that has made the Quincy Company the confectionery maker that we are today.
I'm not sure what we were expecting. That reads like typical corporate talk.
Is there anything in there that contradicts what Minute has said before? Maybe coming here for this brochure was a waste of time after all.
No, I did notice something.
You did?
Oh, I know what's going on. You're entering detective mode again, aren't you? The whole screen turns blue. Well, don't leave us hanging. What was it? On the surface, everything Minute told us at the hotel yesterday was fairly acceptable, and nothing that would arouse suspicion. But, according to this brochure, there is one major contradiction. What's more is that there is enough to prove he isn't employed by the Quincy Company.
You came to a conclusion that big from this one little brochure?
That I did. Get a load of this. Sorry to cut you off, but I hate spoilers. What are you talking about? To be honest, it's annoying that you're the only one who figured it out. Why don't we save it for when we question Mineth? Wazy, this is an investigation, not a game.
I agree with Wazy, actually. Your deduction may not be accurate after all. It would be better if the team was not prejudiced by your opinion as a precaution. Not to mention, I do not enjoy you stealing the spotlight when you enter detective mode, as Randy put it.
Why do I get the feeling that the second comment was the real reason she doesn't want me to share? Okay, if you two insist. Instead, I want you all to consider everything we know thus far. Man, that's a lot of crap. I'll summarize the main points of the brochure in the detective notebooks. All that's left is to visit the IBC. Let's see what our investigation there gets us.
Lead the way.
This looks like a chest. Alright. Yeah, no, seriously, what is with that crap? Alright, back at the IBC. Hey, Lenfei.
Hello again, SSS. What can I do for you today?
We'd like to ask for the IBC's cooperation with an investigation we're working on.
Would it be possible for you to do an account search for us, Lenfei? We're looking to investigate suspicious Mira transfers made by a certain account. Suspicious Mira transfers? It is within company policy if it's related to a criminal investigation. First, would you mind telling me the details of this investigation?
Not a problem.
Lloyd explained the full details behind the suspected fraud case to Lan Fei. I understand now.
Is that enough for the IBC's cooperation? Cracking down on cases like this is in the IBC's best interest too, isn't it? Fraud damages the bank's reputation.
You are correct, and this is related to a legitimate criminal investigation. I can help, but you'll have to settle for me simply telling you what I can read on my terminal screen.
That's more than enough, if you would, please.
Very well. Let me find an account registered under the name Mineth first. Armorica Honey Company, subsidiary of the Quincy Company. I found it. There is indeed an account under that name. Wait. What's wrong? Did you find something wrong with the account? Well, I couldn't typically tell you the exact balance on the account. However, the Armorica Honey Company only has the bare minimum balance deposited to it.
What exactly does that mean?
Basically, corporate accounts require a minimum amount of capital simply to be open. In this case, that minimum deposit is all that's in the account. From what you told me, that would mean tens of thousands of Mira are missing.
There is the construction of the factory, management of the fields, and more to cover. It is simply impossible for any minimum deposit to cover all of it. That much is clear.
There hasn't been a single change in the account deposit despite him holding the land title and having signed several deals. It is certainly suspicious. As in, I suspect the only reason this account was made was to gain Derek's trust.
And it worked. This is just the kind of evidence we need. Thank you for all your help, Lan Fei.
I'm glad I could be of assistance. You always know where to find me if you need the IBC's cooperation again. We'll never forget.
Okay, we have enough material that covers every suspicious aspect of Mineth. We should return to the Hayworth residence.
Got it.
Alright, Miss Hayworth.
Hey, Mr. Grimwood. How's it going?
There you are. So you've returned. Good to see you made it, Mr. Grimwood. I see you've returned too, Mr. Hayworth. Yes, I just finished asking my business associates about the situation. How did things go on your end? We were able to figure out a bit thanks to Mr. Grimwood.
How about you, Mr. Hayworth?
Likewise. I'm not quite sure what to make of it, though. You went through the trouble of digging that info up, so you may as well share with the rest of the class.
Agreed. The information may assist with our investigation.
I suppose you're right.
You'll give Lloyd crap for about to spoil something.
I asked my business associates if the name Mineth rang any bells. I've been informed that Mineth has been researching a certain market ever since arriving in Crossbell.
Which would be?
The price of land in various locations throughout Crossbell. The price of land?
He sounds more like a real estate agent at this point. What would a Quincy Company employee need with that information?
This may be a piece of the puzzle of Mineth's intent. Really? Yes, I suspected as much. I may have also discovered something useful since we saw each other.
Huh?
Harold, Tolta, could you help me find something in my office?
At your office, Ian?
I don't mind, but is it important? Well, it's not good enough to prove anything, however. We can consider it insurance to nail Mineth for his misdeeds. You really got something like that up your sleeve, Grizzly Grim? Possibly, but we may not make it in time. I would recommend you don't wait for us. I think you ought to get to Armorica Village as quickly as you can. If Mineth is the criminal we think he is, then his plan may have already advanced to its final stages. However, I'm confident you will solve the case with the evidence on hand. I wish you all the best of luck. Got it. Thanks, Mr. Grimwood. We're off to Armorica Village, you guys. We'll reveal Mineth's true colors, stop him dead in his tracks.
Right.
Alright, we're in Armorica Village. Let's stop this shady dealer. Damn it, are we too late? Hello. You six again. The special support section. We have a few questions for you, Derek. Mineth, what kind of deal were you hoping to strike today? Meddling in my affairs again on my father's behalf again, are you? Please, Derek. There's no harm in answering their questions. After all, our plan will be set into motion very soon.
What's that supposed to mean?
Right before you all arrived, Derek and I finished signing the required paperwork. My company will expand its operations into the Lotus Field I obtained from this village. The Quincy Company will then take over management of the village's fields. What? You signed away the rights to almost all the village's agriculture. Is this really what you want, Derek? What do you mean? Nothing is changing. I'm just transferring management of the fields to him. Yes, of course. It's really as simple. With my company harvesting the honey, we'll be able to streamline the production of our candy. A temporary transfer of the lands right to my company is a necessary first step that will smooth the process. Tch, what a crafty bastard.
His plan has reached its final phase, which means...
Well then, Derek, I'll be delivering this contract to the main office. Look forward to getting the good news tomorrow. Sounds good. I'll be waiting.
Lloyd!
We can't let him get away. Mineth, before you go, we have a few more questions. Oh? And what might those be? Are you aware of the allegations levied against you? The primary allegation, of course, being suspicion of fraud. What? That's absurd. How dare you insult Mineth like that? Now, Derek, please calm down. Mineth? The special support section, was it? What could possibly make you suspect that I'm some sort of criminal? Surely you have some kind of proof of your claim, don't you? That we do. Interesting. Why don't you tell me all about it? But first, let me remind you that I'm an imperial citizen. If you try to bring me in without decisive evidence, I will do what I must to resolve this, even if you are police officers. That's fine with us.
Lloyd!
Don't worry, Ellie. Let me handle this. From our investigation, I have no doubt Mineth is guilty. I'm going to expose Mineth and show Derek the truth. Interesting. That's how you want to play this, then go right ahead. I'll answer anything you'd like. So, what's your first question? First, about your actions in Crossbell. There is a contradiction between what you say and what you've done. Could you please recount your actions for me? A contradiction? Since arriving at Crossbell, I've been cooperating with Derek on a plan. This plan will result in the formation of the Armorican Honey Company, a subsidiary of the Quincy Company. It will specialize in producing candy made from Armorica's high-quality honey. Combined with my company's acumen, is a surefire success. The business already has an account in its name and is just about prepared for launch. Tell me, what is so contradictory about that? Well, everything. This plan is more like a charade from where I'm standing. Our investigation has uncovered a key contradiction in what you just said. Isn't it obvious? His confectionery acumen, that the plan is underway, the potential profitability. That the plan is underway. The records we looked into at the IBC reveal your mistake. This plan you mentioned. In reality, it hasn't actually progressed at all. The IBC? What are you talking about? Consider this. If the Quincy company intended to advance its plan here in Crossbell, it would need a loan from the IBC to fund the construction and development of the subsidiary. Well, yes, of course. I registered the company with the city and created a corporate account. But that's as far as you went, isn't it? The account for the Armorica Honey Company only had the minimum balance required to open an account in it. While we weren't told the exact amount, I would speculate it's only in the tens of thousands of Mira. Just how were you planning to build a factory and run a business with so little starting capital? You looked into my IBC account? This can't be true, can it, Minith? Please don't misunderstand, Derek. I never said what they're claiming is the truth. I'm merely commenting on the audacity it takes to do something so invasive. Then explain why there's hardly any Mira in that account. As an employee of the company, I must be careful when moving money around. As such, I can't take out a loan on behalf of the Quincy company. Of course, I will be securing a loan from the IBC once I've received permission from the main office. Oh, yeah, that makes perfect sense. A deft evasion. Don't count us out yet. I can tell Minith is getting frustrated. If we continue to press him and pile on the evidence, we can get him to crack. What's with that look on your face? Do you have something more to ask? It just so happens I do. You haven't cleared your name yet, Minith. You're still not satisfied? Don't let them rattle you. I will make sure to clear any and all of your doubts, Derek. Next, I'd like to ask about you, Minith. You say that you're employed by the Quincy company, but is that really true? What are you talking about? Are you implying that Minith isn't associated with the Quincy company at all? That's what our evidence points to. Ha! Goodness me, I didn't expect you to say something so outlandish. How about I show you my business card and employee ID? Those articles could be forged. Regardless, we have evidence that would supersede either of those. And we found it in a Quincy company informational brochure. An informational brochure? Oh yeah, the one in Mademoiselle's room. We recorded the main points in our detective notebook. The brochure comes directly from the Quincy company's main office, so there's no doubt of its accuracy. There is a clear contradiction between what you told us yesterday and the brochure's contents. What I told you? Something that would prove that you couldn't possibly be the employee that you claim to be. Creation of a subsidiary, his history in sales, his dislike of sweets. You told us something peculiar yesterday. I may work for the company, but I've never been one for sweets. Do you deny this fact? What does that have to do with anything, Lloyd? That's right, I don't care for sweets. What of it? Are you trying to say that someone who dislikes sweets couldn't possibly work for a confectionery company? A confectionery company? No, not at all. But this one, you'd better believe it. What are you on about? Who do you work for? The confectionery police department? This is what was written in the brochure. Executives sample development products and, after many planning meetings, judge whether they are worthy of being brought to the market. Isn't that curious? What is that? Wait! It does make sense that someone like Minith, who doesn't like sweets, could work for a company like Quincy, not with a tradition like that. Wouldn't you agree? No. I mean, I never said I hated sweets. That's not going to work on us. You admitted to not liking them in this very conversation. How stupid do you think we are? Gah. So that raises the question, why would you lie about being an employee of the Quincy Company? It's simple. You intended to gain Derek's trust before ripping him off. This is the only deduction I can make based on the evidence.
As for the confectioner wanting to make use of Armorica's honey, the Quincy Company was just a name with weight thrown out to win Derek's trust.
Mineth, what is the meaning of this? You tricked me? Derek, don't allow yourself to be deceived by these scoundrels. What did you just call us? Think about it for a second. If I did come to Armorica Village for the purpose of founding a fraudulent company named the Armorican Honey Company, if I did have an ulterior motive in deceiving my very good new friend Derek, then what is it? Why would I go to such ridiculous lengths? If you can't prove that, then you have no right to call me a fraud. You should arrest yourselves for slander.
You are asking for it.
That one's easy. Everyone here knows exactly what you're after. Do they? What?
Are you sure, Lloyd? I mean, I might know, but I definitely don't want to be the one put on the spot.
Don't worry, I've got this. The person who pointed us in the right direction today also went to retrieve the final piece of evidence that will end this. That's the final piece of the puzzle that will oust Mineth once and for all. Quit the mumbling. If you have something to say, then out with it. I know the real reason you've gone to such lengths to deceive this village. Seizing land rights, monopolizing honey sales, peddling knockoff Orville cars. Seizing land rights. Your true objective here is obtaining the land rights of the Armorica village itself. What? A trader we know named Harold Hayworth gave us some information about you. Mineth, immediately after arriving in Crossbell, you were looking into the state's land prices. If you were employed by the Quincy Company in search of business opportunities, this would make no sense. So why do it? I can only think of one possibility. Your objective from the start was to acquire land.
That's right. It wouldn't make any sense.
There's more to it. Armorica Village is surrounded by scenic beauty, making this the village itself a high-value location. Suppose the land was sold to a real estate agency to have villas built here. How much mira do you think it would sell for?
I would estimate something in the tens of millions of mira for land like this. That said, I don't think the villagers would ever agree to sell.
Exactly. Their unwillingness to part with the land under normal circumstances is the crux of his plan. Now, assuming your motive was to obtain the land rights, then your actions become clear. First, you obtain the rights to the lotus fields, the farmland, and any private property. Then, under the pretext of returning to your company's main office, you disappear from Crossbell entirely. Finally, you sell the deed on the black market and collect the large sum of mira it's all worth. That, Mineth, has been your plan the entire time. Mineth, I can't believe what I'm hearing. Oh, is that our evidence? Is that... Oh. Thank goodness. It looks like we made it in time. Derek. Father? Mr. Hayworth? Aren't you from, Mr. Grimwood's office?
I'm his assistant, Pete. He would have come himself, but he had to get back to drafting the Constitution. Did you come with the evidence?
That we did. Ian said this would prove to be useful insurance. I think you should all
see this. Pete produced a photograph for everyone to see. It was of a man who looked like a merchant with the same face as Mineth's.
That man in the picture is... Why do you have this?
A reporter Mr. Grimwood knew in the Empire gave this to him a long time ago. However, the name on this photo isn't Mineth, it's Rittner.
He is the very same! Get him!
Rittner? I feel like we heard that name recently. Ah, I know. It's the name of the man who stole the land of the Erebonian Baron that Mr. Grimwood told us about.
Oh yeah, that dude. That's right. I asked Ian about it again, and he said there's no mistaking it. Well, this is a plot twist I wasn't expecting. Lloyd, why don't you do Mineth the honors? Tell him what this photo could only mean. With pleasure. The reason the man before us, Mineth, and the man in the photo, Rittner, look the same is... They're twins! He's in disguise! They're the same person. Mineth and Rittner are one and the same. That's the only way. And it's because they're the same person that their MOs are an exact match. Mr. Grimwood came to the same conclusion. This man must have fraud down to an exact orbital science. You're a crook, Mineth. You'll be charged with attempted fraud. That is, of course, on top of the fraud you previously committed in Erebonia. I can only imagine how many skeletons they're going to find in your closet when they get done with you.
I would enjoy hearing all the details in the department's interrogation room.
Damn you. My work must be flawless. You damn kids. Mineth. Don't give full of yourselves. You may have won this time, but I won't be captured so easily. What? Come, my lovely beasts. Oh!
What?
Monsters?
They appear to be well trained.
These cougars, don't freaking tell me. No. Derek. Chitolta, it's dangerous.
Do you have any idea what you've done?
I know precisely what I'm doing. That's why I'm doing it. Don't even think for a second about trying to fight me. That is, unless you don't value the lives of Derek and the villagers. Damn you. Now get out of my way.
We're not letting him go, are we?
Zeit! Fare thee well, for we shall never meet again.
Someone? We're not just going to let him run off, are we?
Derek. We can't let him escape.
Chase him.
And there goes the vehicle. And we can chase him down.
No. He managed to get away. Ugh, I've never been so frustrated. I can't believe a spineless coward like him could give us a slip.
At least none of the villagers were hurt. Let's look at the silver lining. What a mess. If we come across him again, he won't be so lucky. For now, let's regroup with Chief Tolta and the villagers to report what's happened. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Randy?
I can't thank you all enough for what you've done today. It's no exaggeration to say that you saved the village from the clutches of that thief.
Oh, did we get?
In the end, he still got away, though.
Yes, but now the department knows to keep a lookout for him. It's only a matter of time before he's caught.
Derek? I made a grave mistake. It caused so much trouble. I was roped into his scheme, and it nearly cost us the village.
Don't be so hard on yourself. You're not the one who's
No, it's my fault. Completely and entirely. I was so desperate to fix the village that I ignored my father and nearly ruined everything. I have no right to become the next village chief. That is where you're wrong. Father? I've been so overly conservative that I never tried to hear your proposals for what they were. I've known the village will go under if we maintain our current course, and yet I've done nothing. It's my actions that drove you to do this, so I must bear a large share of the responsibility for letting this happen. That's very admirable, Chief Tolta. Thanks to this crisis, I finally realized my mistake. The future of this village cannot hinge entirely on a single stubborn old man's ideology. Derek, we must work together from now on. We must cooperate and discuss our ideas with the villagers. This is the only way we can protect the future of our village. You're right. I'm so sorry, Father. I'll dedicate myself to the betterment of the village from here on out.
I'm happy the two of you were able to reconcile.
Ha, same. Maybe that makes almost losing your village to a crook worth it?
Put a sock in it, Wheezy. Learn how to read a room.
I'm really sorry about him. I swear, we've tried everything. Ahem! I owe you all an enormous debt, so allow me to thank you once more. I also owe you my gratitude, to Mr. Grumwood. It's a shame he couldn't be here.
Don't worry, I'll pass your message along.
Even if I played a minor role, I'm glad I could be of assistance. I look forward to continuing our relationship, Chief Tolta. Same to you, Harold. If you could, keep a lookout for Mineth. Contact us right away if he returns. And of course, you can always request the SSS if you need our help for any reason. Hopefully, it won't be for anything related to this ordeal ever again. We'll continue to keep you kids in mind.
So why was Randy giving us the ellipses? So is there... Man, that was weak. I wouldn't have minded a boss fight, but... maybe we'll see him again. Somehow I doubt we'll see him in Cold Steel. If I remember right, you bought it for 50,000 Mira, and the market price is closer to 500,000.
That is a bit of a problem.
For the time being, it'd be best if you turn it into the police. Since it was sold and purchased through a legitimate transaction, it will probably be returned to you in the end. True, but whether the truck was legal in the first place will need to be investigated.
Alright, I'll go ahead and contact the police then. Well, we saved the village. Let's head back home. Actually, what is left? Still got the gourmet article, which we gotta wait till tomorrow. Redelivering the missed deliveries. That is the Crossbell Airport. And unfortunately, that's it.